In this week's retro pop culture news, a new retro minigame console has been announced. Then there is a cool Transformers chess set that's coming out. Also, we have some news on the Honey, I Shrunk the Kid reboot. And we have a lot more news to talk about, so don't turn that dial. What up to my peoples, and welcome to Retro Crunch. To start off this week's retro news, those mini console makers are back at it again, and this time the team that made the Commodore Mini, they're bringing another mini computer gaming console to the home, namely the Amiga 500 Mini. The A500 Mini, as it's being called, is the latest in the mini console boom from which Nintendo, Sega, and many other manufacturers have released their own mini consoles for retro game lovers. The console is going to sell for $139.99 and it's going to come with 25 games, a vintage style USB mouse and game control pad, and it looks really close to what the original Amiga 500 looked like, but much smaller. And the downside is the keyboard. It doesn't really work. You can't insert discs in the console, but it does come with USB and you could sideload games that you might have played as a kid, so that's nice. Now, I never played on the Amiga 500 as a kid, but I do remember seeing this Amiga PC in the mall at places like Radio Shack when I was really young. The Amiga products were more of a high-end computer and gaming system that most people that I knew, they never really owned because of how expensive they were to buy. But if you never had a chance to play with one of these in the 80s or 90s, now might be your chance to see what the fuss was all about. Or you can wait till they make a full-size one with a working keyboard. And then for all of the Transformers fans out there, Eagle Moss Hero Collector has partnered with Hasbro to launch an official Transformers chess set campaign on Kickstarter. I actually own the Batman chess set, so I can attest to Eagle Moss making some really cool looking themed chess sets. The Transformers one, it shows the G1 look of the Transformers from the 1980s cartoons, and it looks like something that any Transformers fan might really want to check out. Now, the downside is it's going to cost you between $600 and $700 for the whole set. And that's a pretty steep cost, but if you'd like to find out more about it, I'll link to the Kickstarter down below. And then this next story, man, I really love this one because I was in love with the Lamborghini Countach as a kid. I mean, what's not to love?
I'll take care of this one.
Anyways, so Lamborghini is bringing back the Countach in 2022. I'm really liking this design. It still has that deep crease in the front bumper. It's really slick looking. It retains a lot of that style that we love from the early 80s Lamborghini Countach. The one thing that I wish that they would bring back for this revived car is the spoiler. That spoiler, it was iconic on that Countach. It really set it apart from some of the other cars that I remember from that time. Oh, and the price tag on this bad boy is $2.5 million. So, don't quit playing the lottery. Now, jumping over to some entertainment news, I have a few more stories that I want to let all you retro fans know about. First off, it's been a while since we've had some news on that movie Shrunk, which is the reboot sequel to Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. And according to Collider.com, in an interview with Josh Gad, who's actually set to star in Shrunk, he said this: "Fingers crossed, think we're going to hopefully be shooting early next year. That is the status right now. Now, the status is ever changing, but we're all feeling really confident about it." I'm glad to see that the movie's on track, but I'm mostly excited that Rick Moranis is going to be in the movie. Then one thing of note is that Rick actually left acting because he was wanting to concentrate on raising his kids after losing his wife to cancer. And something that's really interesting for Shrunk is that he's going to be playing a single dad that lost his wife to cancer in the new Shrunk movie. And that is very real and meaningful for Rick to make his way back into acting and the Honey, I Shrunk the Kid franchise. So other than that, there's really not a lot to report, but I'm really excited that they're going to continue to make this movie. And then it's been reported that the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, that reboot is going to be delayed till 2022 because the show is actually switching to a different set of people that are going to be creating the show. Also, there hasn't been any news on who's been cast to be in the show, so that's really going to delay production as well. But last but not least, the new film Respect, that is about the life of Aretha Franklin. It's now in theaters. It came out August 13th, and I haven't seen it yet, but I'm really looking forward to it. The trailer looked really good. And finally, if you're into retro news and nostalgia stuff from back in the day, I'll see you in the next video right there. I'll catch you on the flip side, and remember, if it ain't retro, it ain't worth watching.